This chart is front-running Bitcoin, and this is the next move that will be starting of this chart. We are seeing a golden cross on the institutional MACD, which is a massive sign for some upside potential for Bitcoin. We are in a boring market right now, but is the next move loading for Bitcoin? Tomorrow the FOMC rate cut will happen, and what can we expect next? Because there is a pattern forming and I need to worry about this next move for tomorrow. We have some very important other data in this video, but first of all, please make sure to follow me over on X to never miss something throughout the day in crypto. And of course, I would really appreciate you if you can subscribe over on my YouTube channel, if you can like this daily update video, and you can join my free Telegram group in the description right over here, the first link. Please make sure to do so, and let's dive right away into the charts and the data for now, because this chart is really interesting. Why? We can see on the top side, we of course have the weekly Bitcoin chart. On the lower side, we have the Russell 2000 ETF. But a really important thing to know is if Russell ETF breaks out towards the upside, that is the exact moment that Bitcoin is going exceptionally towards the upside here. We have seen some very big moves before, like right over here in 2016 we saw a move getting started of approximately 2500%. So the pattern is we break a high, an important high on the Russell, and Russell keeps pushing towards the upside and Bitcoin also pushes towards the upside. Right here we break this very important high on the Russell ETF. We break it towards the upside. That is the exact moment that Bitcoin started pushing towards the upside. Right over here we saw a 500% move after the breakout. Then we broke a very important range here on the Russell 2000 ETF. That was the exact moment Bitcoin started to rise 200% in the upcoming months. Right here, we set a very important high on the Russell ETF. Right now, we are breaking out of that pattern once again. And every single time, we have seen this before, the next rally for Bitcoin started. We have seen this 3 times before, and 3 times a massive, but if I say a massive move gets started on Bitcoin. And right now, we are seeing that signal once again. So this could signal for a next leg for Bitcoin towards the upside. Historical speaking, we will start searching towards the upside around these levels of the Russell 2000 ETFs here. And these moves will not be small, because if we look at the past, if we can say that this will be at least 60% move from the point we are at right now, we will see a new all-time high of approximately $125,000 Bitcoin. So usually these setups and these signals are pretty high confident on Bitcoin. Then also, if you look at the institutional MACD, and this is really important, it's not the normal MACD, but the institutional MACD. Why is this important? This is a other data set, but in this case, we can see that institutions are scaling in on this golden cross, which is massive. Of course, we all know we want to trade with the institutions. So that's why it's important to look at the institutional MACD instead of the normal MACD. The normal MACD lags more than the institutional one. The institutions are looking at this indicator, and that is why it's so very important. Right here in October 2023, we saw a golden cross happening. Bam, Bitcoin surged 140% towards the upside. We have seen it before here in October 2024. Golden cross happened, bam, Bitcoin pumped 75% towards the upside. Also a massive move. Right here, we have seen it before, April 2025. Bam, Bitcoin surged 40% towards the upside. And right now the signal is back, and I'm expecting a pump from off this point further towards the upside. And the question is, we want to trade through data and not emotions. But if you look at this chart, and even if you look at this chart, this is a really bad moment to sell. Because if you sell your Bitcoin at this point, you are betting against this chart that literally was right 2 years in a row with this signal, and that is something you really want to keep in mind, because this chart is saying bullish signals. This chart is also screaming bullish things. Of course, there are some charts that say some bearish things. That is normal, but it is very important to every day look at the data. Of course, there are some bearish things developing in the market, but I'm looking at those charts as well. I'm not looking at only bullish charts, of course. But for me, the bearish signals right now are way smaller than the bullish signals I am seeing in the market. Then, if you look at this lower time frame here, we are seeing an interesting development, because yesterday I said here, we want to push further towards the upside throughout this red box and retest it before the next leg towards the upside. What we can see right now, we are rejecting that red box, and that is something you really want to keep in mind, because if you look at the structure, we are seeing a bullish structure formed right now, but what we are doing is rejecting this high, which could mean that we will make a lower high, which is the first signal of a trend reversal. Then the second signal and a reversal is if we lose this low. So that is the low of approximately $89,000. So for now, it's important to push further towards the upside above the $92,000. If he doesn't do it, then it's really important to stay above this low and doesn't lose it towards the downside. There are two scenarios here. Either we push towards the upside, retest it, and we will see a further move towards the upside, or we will break this low and we will probably see some more downside for Bitcoin. That are also the two trade setup that I'm looking for, is a long if we break this high and a short if we break this low and this green box. That is exactly what I'm looking for. If this happens, I will post it over in my Telegram group, so please make sure to join it through the link in the description to never miss a trade ever again. And of course, make sure to follow me over on X, because I will be posting it there if this happens. And if you want to trade those moves by yourself, please make sure to sign up on WeX through the link in the description. You will have the best trading circumstances, prices, commission rate possible in the market. And one very exciting thing right now is if I achieve 500 subscribers here on YouTube, I will be giving away 100 USDT trading bonus for one of you. What do you need to do for that? Please make sure, of course, to subscribe over on my YouTube channel and sign up on WeX through the link in the description. If we achieve 500 subscribers, I will be giving away 1000 USDT trading bonus. So you need to subscribe and sign up through the link in the description, and you will make chance to win the $1,000 here. Then if we look at this chart, and it's very important because tomorrow the FOMC meeting, any rate cuts happen. But if we look at history, also here, it is very clear. I'm not looking at almost bullish chart here, but I'm looking at history and data. And this data shows us that in the previous FOMC and rate cut meetings, we saw a price surge towards the upside. When the actual FOMC meeting and the rate cut happened, we dumped towards the downside. That was the first time we see it. It was in September 2025. Right now, we are seeing in 16 October, we pumped towards the upside. In the weeks before, when FOMC hit, price dumped extremely towards the downside. The exact same setup as we have seen in September here. But right now, on 9 December, we are seeing the exact same thing happening. So bullish price action towards the FOMC meeting. Tomorrow with the FOMC meeting rate cut, historical speaking and data shows us that we will dump towards the downside on this day. That is what I'm expecting as well. So I am expecting some short-term downside for Bitcoin. Of course, this doesn't guarantee we will dump towards a $70,000, but it is possible, and history tells us that we will probably have such a dump here with the FOMC meetings and the rate cuts. So that is something you really want to keep in mind with trading tomorrow and with which buying your spot. Because if you want to buy your spot here, and history tells us that we will probably dump with the FOMC meeting, it's better to wait till we dump and then buy your spot. So this chart tells us that we will probably dump with the FOMC meeting tomorrow. Then also, if you look at some on-chain data, we can see that the capitulation is reaching new highs, and this is a sign that people are panic selling, and that is exactly what institutions, market makers want you to do. And once you do this, they will probably buy your Bitcoin back and pump the price higher. If we look at the history, we can see capitulation spiked. That was near the bottom, Bitcoin pumped afterwards. Capitulation spiked. That was near the bottom, Bitcoin pumped afterwards. Right here, capitulation spiked. We pumped towards the upside. Right here and right here, capitulation spiked more than average. That was the start of this run towards the upside. Right here, capitulation spiked once again, and history tells us right here that we are near a bottom. I'm not saying this is the exact bottom, but every single time this signal peaks on the capitulation oscillator, the bottom was near to be in, and that is exactly what I am seeing right now. So do with the information you want to, but history tells us that this is not a bad time to buy your Bitcoin. And that was it for today's daily update video. Please make sure to follow me over on X, subscribe over on my YouTube channel, like this daily update video if you love these updates, and join my free Telegram group. And I will see you tomorrow by a brand new crypto daily update video.